Yeah.
Being that we're talking this Diburei Emunah, being Yitzchok, we're talking about this is Daf Kuf Be'Av. But anyhow, we were saying before, being that we were Zoiche to be from the first, we came over in the Mayflower, the first wave of Baalei Teshuvos.
Yeah.
So we were Zoiche, what we were Zoiche, it's like, we got some goodies,
Yeah.
The Stipler was, I live opposite the Stipler. It's like, my wife used to hold Elimelech like this on the, we have the trisim. She used to hold him like to look at the Stipler going to shul in the morning. Well, Cheshin and Hashem. Okay. Snoch, as Rabbi Nachman used to say, says no Chazal Rebbe nish given. Such a Rebbe has never existed. Or as that Talmud is given, and such a Talmud like Ibn Nosson is nish given. Rabbeinu HaKodesh VaNoiro, our heilige, awesome Rebbe that is our Rebbe today. And we are merited to be his Talmidim. It's not me, I saw the Stipler, but you see Rabbeinu himself. And it says at least to be called after his name. Look, everybody speak about the Baal Shem Tov HaKadosh and his heilige Talmidim that from their avodas they reached the Shamayim. Let's see, what was the Baal Shem Tov HaKadosh? What was his way in avodas Hashem? Him and his heilige Talmidim used to go around in the fields, in the forests, and in the fields, in avodas Tefillah and his Beidadus with tremendous kedusha. So now you would ask, but today you have people that want to go after the derech avodah of the founders of the Hasidus. The answer is no. Adrabah. Through the Eitzes Kedoshos, through the heilige advice that Rabbeinu told us, people, he said, other people in the other Hasidus, whatever it is, that are going in the way of the Baal Shem Tov and the founding fathers of the Hasidus?
Yeah.
No. There were, white socks, there were, big Zilber Natalis, Atura, Zaban Atura, whatever. This is Adrabah. He says, on this heilige advice that Rabbeinu told us, they complain about us, and that we have grabbed onto avodas that are too great for us, and we're too small for this, and this was only bichlal for people of previous generations like Chatzois and his Beidadus and all this, and what they do, they rely on the fact that they say, if that's the way Talmidei Baal Shem Tov used to behave, then it's not shach to us at all. These avodas are what great tzaddikim. What better proof you have that it's not for me? That's the way they use. This is what they tie at the best of the Hasidus for years and years and years. But Rabbeinu comes out resolutely against them, and he says, "B'shum pani v'ayfinished, chas chalila." From the smallest of the small to the biggest of the big, the only way to get anywhere is through his Beidadus. It says, Adrabah, Misvara, it should have been the opposite of what they're saying. In the time of the previous Tzaddikim, when people weren't as crass as we are today, it was possible to get to Kodesh Baruch Hu through small avodas. Well, it's like when the illness is not so severe, you can take smaller medicine. But now that the world is so low, in such a machinadik yerida, Hashem Yirachem, the gashmius and the crudeness and materialism has, totally taken over. Absolutely, you have a huge medicine. You have to use the medicine that the biggest tzaddikim used to use. And in their time, they used to use these medicines to get Asogas Alakus, they used to get Ruach HaKodesh, they used to get unbelievable madrigas. Today, the same avoidance at least give us, allow us to save ourselves from grobe taivas, from really, really base instincts and taivas. But to say that these are refuahs that don't belong to us, this is not true. This is bavadai not true. He says, but a person shouldn't mistake to think that the fact that you're doing the avodas of the tzaddikim, that you are like them. I don't know. Selfie with the Baal Shem Tov. You're not there yet. And the proof that what you wake up Chatzos and you misbase with Hashem alone, like the Baal Shem Tov used to, and his Talmidim, the angels. What does that mean? That you're equal to them? Chas v'chalila. They took this refuahs to come close and to adhere to Hashem Yisbarach. We are just getting these refuahs in order to heal from wounds and from illness. This is something that you have to repeat yourself. That chas v'chalila, we shouldn't think that we're in the madrega, even though that the kind of avodah that we do is equal to the kind of avodah that they used to do. It doesn't mean that we are holding where they are. He says, Rabbi Yitzchak is saying, I still used to know such Ovdei Hashem that you can't possibly fathom their awesome avodas. In the winter, the frozen Russian winter nights, that 52 degrees Celsius minus 52 Celsius. When the trains could not move, that the people weren't able to get out to work and used to stay home. These people that I used to know, a few of them, they came out such an awesome night to frozen felders and frozen forests, and they stayed up all night long. He says, can you fathom this? He says, can't you see here the koyches of Talmidei Baal Shem Tov? He says, how is it possible to show your head outside the door, and they are spending all night long in the forest, all night long? He said there was one Jew, his name was Nachman Kaminsky alav hashalom, that used to be so astonished from the avodah of the people of the Bnei Chabura. He says, I have to go and see what they're doing the night long. I mean, the night, it's so freezing cold, it's burning, it's so cold, it's burning like fire. You can't even put your nose out the door. What are they doing there? He says, finished, he's going to see what the big Oved Rebuch Getzes, the Getzel's Chosn, what he's doing. This Reb Nachman, he wears good fur, big fur coat, great coat. He says, a footer with papuchin, like a good boots, healthy boots, and went to the field. And he went into the thickest of the snowy, frozen forest. And he says he sees a boch, squirming in incredible coldness, and throws himself to the side so he doesn't become, shtickle frozen meat, and screaming at Kodesh Baruch with the top of his voice, moving this way and that, right and left and up and down. There's not standing there. He's just can't believe what he says. Not an hour and not 2 hours. A whole Russian night long. Whole nights long he used to go out of his house and spend in the fields. And every single moment he's sakonas cham, he shouldn't be frozen. And this, Reb Nachman Kaminsky, that watched Rebo, he says he came to his senses a little bit. He could not possibly understand from where does he get this kind of koyches. It's a big suffix that even in the time of Baal Shem Tov, such avodas were commonplace. Even with Talmidei Baal Shem Tov, it's a big suffix if such avodas were commonplace. According what we see from this is Rabbeinu's greatness. That even 150 years from his historicals, today is already 200 years more, it still keeps on coming up with beautiful fruits. Until even in the days of Baal Shem Tov, these kind of words were chidushim, tremendous chidushim. Even the Baal Shem Tov, where Rabbeinu even us, even by us, I mean not us, me, but,